area with the flat screen on the back wall. Here's just another vantage point. Oh, but did you also notice the wall color? Yeah, that really made a difference. Here's another before in this same home. It's a huge, like, bowling alley foyer. And they really had, it's hard to see on that the photo on the left, where you see a little mirror there. But basically there was nothing in this space. Now they did have treatments on the front, those are the front doors, but they sort of looked out of place. They were just kind of there alone, looking very lonely, okay? But what we did, the eye needed to be brought up because we needed to take advantage of that perspective upstairs. This is a glorious foyer. We added some flooring. We put larger scale furniture in the hallway here. Here's another picture of that kind of shows even into the grand room. I didn't put the before from the grand room there, but they had sort of older fashioned looking Victorian type draperies. So what we did, we gave it a little cleaner look. And that's something too, if you can reuse something and update it, I think that's worth saving. And the only thing I'm skipping, I'm just gonna touch on lighting real quick and textiles very quickly because I wanna spend more time on color. But lighting should be on purpose and it should be planned. There's natural and there's artificial lighting. There's task lighting. And all of that is, we need to pay attention to that in what I do. And you know, I love textiles, so we're gonna talk about that a little bit later. But basically, if I had to leave you with anything, I'd say function must drive selection. And then fiber content affects application. It's all in how you intend to use it. Okay, here's another fun thing. Here's a before. This couple, and she would die if she knew I was showing this, but she's okay about me. She's released her pictures, so okay. But they basically gutted their master bedroom and bath, and so they're moving things back in. So this is the bare bones of what they had, and you can see on the next photo that literally they were moving back into their bedroom. But the walls are bare. There's nothing going on. And she came to me and she said, Loretta, I've never had my master bedroom done. I want a romantic bedroom that when I come in, I don't want to leave. So it's my job to figure out what she really wants and take a look at some of these afters. I mean, she wanted a lot of, this is a picture of kind of how textiles can really make a difference in a room. She wanted that romantic look. She wanted a lot of fabric. So we chose silk, and these are silk drapes with an inverted box pleat valance. And it's not even, the room is really not even finished. This is literally hot off the press. We still are accessorizing. But I just felt like it was a great example of using textiles and what it can do for a space. And this is a good example too of we use their furniture, their existing furniture. There was nothing wrong with their furniture. It was just the room was like saying nothing. Here's another vantage point. Okay, let's move and transition to color. And I must say, Sherwin-Williams was so grateful. They loved the idea that I wanted to use their color forecast. So I just had to mention that. We're going to pay attention to 4 color schemes: the monotone, monochromatic, analogous, and complementary. So let's look at monotone. Monotone basically is when you use a single color in one value and you use it everywhere in your space. Monochromatic it's similar to monotone, but you use a wider range of the same color. In this photo alone, you can see that there's at least 7 to 8 different values of this color in this one room. If you start from the ceiling and work your way down, you'll see it as it begins, even down to the furniture and the carpet. And that's a great look. Now, analogous is when you achieve harmony by using hues that are close to one another. So you might start with a deeper or a lighter tone and you graduate from there. And then complementary is when you use colors or hues that are basically opposite one another on the color wheel. So for 2012, and we're going to look at 4 areas of color. As far as the reds, we've got, I'm going to show you how they come up with these color forecasts. And I will say this, in all my years of doing interior design, I have not had one client say to me, well, they will ask, what's the color for next year? And we'll talk about that for a little bit, and then we go back to their business of what colors do you like? Because it's really not, practical to change your whole colors based on the color forecast. I always ask, what do you like? And we'll work from there. Because you can make any color look good. Now for reds, for 2012, they take nature, like a brilliant flower, a glowing ember, the colors of fire and passion. They're using all this to come up with their reds for the forecast. So some of the things that they might use are textiles, and we're going to see where they'll use fashion. Like, let's move to blues. Clear water, that's nature. Faded American denim, rivers, lakes, seas, the crisp blue skies. They look at fashion as well. Even what the royal couple wear. They were in blue one day, and that was kind of sucked into the color forecast. All the way from jeans to the royal couple, affected the color forecast for 2012. And I have here a chair, the chair on the end here in the blue, that is in the blue family. And what I want you to see is that how you can take one color and pretend a color from your home, and we could go several directions that you can see on the board. Hopefully you can see that if they can put the camera on the board. I don't know if they can do that right now, these will be available later for you to look at. But you can see on the board where you can go more in a transitional line, more traditional. There's so many directions you can go, depending on what look you want, just from one color. So that's just an example of like that could be your point of inspiration. Everyone has a point of inspiration in their homes. Let's look at greens now. The depth of the sea and forest, seaweed, algae, moss, rooftop gardens, and foliage affected the color forecast for greens. And so you see here, you see pottery, you see fashion. And for every photo that you see, there were about 20. So I'm just giving you, this is just a drop in the bucket of what they use to come up with these. So let's take, for instance, and I thought this was a good way to incorporate in, of course, the fabric on this chair to my right is green, in the green family. And you can see how we've gone every direction here. Depending on what your style and taste is, we could come up with a plan based on your colors. And I just wanted you to see, like, it's endless, the possibilities of the combinations that we can go. Okay, let's move to neutrals. Neutrals are really big because we all love earth tones. Think of what they used was a field of grain, a pile of pebbles, weathered wood, earthly clay, or raw organic materials, such as what you see here. These were part of the neutral forecast. And so I have a chair here that's basically in a neutral, what would be considered a neutral fabric. And if you can see the board, let me just lift the bottom part for you to see. We go from plaids to florals to the neutrals tones up top. We can bring in leathers. And by the way, with leathers, I will just say this. There's some great leather-looking products out right now that function like a leather. They look just like leather. But if your application is, say, in the family room or the kitchen or your bar stools, I'm using that more and more for high-use places so you don't have to worry about them getting ruined. They are so durable, they can take anything and still look great. Okay, so let's move on from there. Here's our little pop quiz, and I already gave you the answer. What are your favorite colors? Start there. And I think whomever you're working with, they should be more interested in that than trying to apply the next year's color forecast on you or pressure you in that way. But I would say purpose to know what those are. We started out in the beginning with knowing your long-term plan for your home. And in closing, that's what I'd like to leave you with, that to me, and I think to you as well, home is a reflection of you and your family, and that's the way I look at it. It should be a safe place, a nurturing place. I believe real beauty starts in the home and in the families with healthy relationships. It's where life happens. And as women, I believe our role is that we're there to protect and to be a wife, a mother, a friend, and to be a woman. I have a little closing reflection that I'm going to close with, but before I do that, I just need to mention that we will move this set to just outside somewhere around here so that you can take a closer look. And everything up here is available for sale if there's anything that you're interested in. But we will have it on display outside later after our break. But this is something I want to share with you as a closing reflection. And this is my heart to you. Who is woman? A woman is her home. And what is her home? It is acceptance, it's inspiration, it's safe, and it is love. Those who live there look to her guidance, influence, and nurture. What is her home? It's a place of beauty, of treasures and joy. Most of all, it is a place of cherished things, family, relationship. Who is woman? A friend, a mother, a wife, a home to those she loves. And so I want to thank you all for having me. I have enjoyed this thoroughly and appreciate being here.